Meet Courtney, a beautiful, healthy, vibrant 17-year-old. But she wasn't always this healthy. In fact, as a young girl, some doctors weren't sure just how long she'd survive. So how did she? Well, her mother refused to accept traditional medical opinions and created her own treatment plan, which she'll share with us this hour on It's Your Call. It's a story that may surprise you, may leave you a bit skeptical, but it will definitely bring a smile to your face with its happy ending. It is a story of a mother's tireless effort to save her child's life. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Lynn Doyle and this is It's Your Call, where our topic today is Curing Courtney, the story of one woman's refusal to believe what doctors told her when it came to her daughter's health. Denise Otten is that mother. Her youngest daughter, Courtney, was diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis 1 when she was just 7 years old. After years of so-called traditional treatment, her condition worsened and her prognosis steadily declined. In fact, at one point, her parents were told she needed stronger meds, but they were given no promises those meds would work. A liver transplant was also a possibility. But Denise refused to accept what the doctor said and started to investigate holistic measures, which she says not just cured Courtney, but saved her. She recounts this sometimes horrifying journey in her new book, Curing Courtney. Doctors couldn't save her, so her mom did. And Denise Otten joins us first this hour. Denise, good to have you with us.
Thank you, Lynn.
Congratulations on the publication of the book. I know that this is something that you aspired to do for many, many years. Why did you feel it was so important to tell your story?
Well, for many years, it was really hard to tell the story because a lot of people said, oh, you know, they said, you're ridiculous, you're crazy. There's no way that that actually happened. And I said, wait a second, I saved my daughter, not you. But a lot of people told me, don't write it, you're not a doctor, who's going to listen to you? And as Courtney got older and more beautiful and healthy, I just had to share it with the world, because if I can find an answer that's an alternative answer to save my daughter, then it's possible, just possible, that you can too.
And you truly believe that you did cure her of the hepatitis 1 and that you essentially did save her life. You believe that strongly in your heart.
Oh no, I did. No, and let me just back up. It's remission. I use Curing Courtney because it's an alliteration and it captures your attention, but the truth is it's remission. It can come back, and I know it, and she knows it. And so we know that, okay, then we have the protocol, if it comes back, to reverse it again. But I know it. There's science backing it, and there's science within the book, and there's doctors that have found the answers. And Lynn, I didn't do this. I just found the doctors. I didn't actually find the protocol. I found the doctors and the science that's out there.
Okay, let's go back to the very beginning. She was just 7 years old, had always been healthy, big, beautiful blue eyes, which you started to notice appeared to be a little jaundiced. Right. You took her to a doctor, there were tests, and the results came back that she had this autoimmune hepatitis 1. Right. What was your reaction to thinking that your 7-year-old had autoimmune hepatitis 1?
If you can imagine, you're sitting there and you're having a great life, you know, a mother of 3 children with the house in the suburbs. We both are working. It's very hard to provide a lifestyle that just is happy for our family. And your baby gets hepatitis. You just want to die right there in the doctor's office. And you know hepatitis is a possible death sentence. I don't have to explain that to the average American. The word hepatitis conjures up thoughts of a drunk person who has hepatitis who dies of liver disease. So you think, I'm going to die right here. My baby, 7 years old, could die? Please, God, take me instead of her.
So the thought that you might lose her was at the forefront of your mind. So of course, as any mother, you want to do exactly what the doctors say. Yes. Let's get my child cured as soon as possible. What did some of the treatment involve?
Well, let me explain something. When you have a child who has an autoimmune disease that is deadly, every year, every day of your life, you're afraid that you could lose your child. You try and put that in the back of your mind, but you follow the doctor's orders because really you're afraid and you don't know what to do. So you take the first person that you think is the best in the whole world at their trade and you follow their direction. to the T.
And that's what we are essentially trained to do. As we were kids and we grew up and we became parents, you know, when the doctor said, give the baby, you know, 2 Tylenol, or give the baby this, or the child this, we did it. I mean, that's how we were trained.
Exactly. And you go to the best doctors that you think, and we live near the New York area, so I said, well, New York is the best in everything, right? The doctors are supposed to be allegedly the best. We're going there.
Okay.
We found somebody and she ended up with strong drugs and prednisone, and as everyone knows, prednisone makes your body very fat and hairy.
So the impact on her not only was that she was ill and had to be treated as a sick child,
right,
but then she had these very strong meds taking their toll on
right,
her body.
Yeah.
What kind of impact did it have on Courtney as a child?
You know, I always say to everybody, Courtney is one of the strongest people I know. I think she's stronger than me, because if I had to go through having prednisone, a prednisone life for 5 years on and off, which made her very heavy, and you know the moon face or the chipmunk cheeks that they show, and hair all over her body where we shouldn't be growing mustaches at 8 years old. We shouldn't be growing sideburns at 8 years old. We shouldn't have man's hair on our arms and legs and back and shoulders when we're 8 years old.
Did that make her a target of other children in elementary school?
Yeah, unfortunately it did. But, you know, children can be mean, and my older children were, there's a story that goes that my little tiny petite 5'3" child would attack boys if they teased her daughter, her sister,
her little sister.
And my oldest son also was just like, he was like the gladiator. He would protect her like a bodyguard. But the thing about it is that the community that we live in, which is like every American community, there's a lot of people want to stick together. And the ones that were our friends, that were our dear friends and neighbors, they all banded together and they told their children, don't you dare tease Courtney. And so Courtney herself never got teased directly to her face, except maybe one kid.
Okay, so not only was she dealing with the physical aspect of autoimmune disease, hepatitis, but then there's the emotional and the mental anguish that goes along with it. The family and the friends did everything they could to help her
yes,
get through it.
They really did.
At one point, though, the doctors were unhappy with her progress and said, our treatment is not working. We want to step this up. We want to make her treatment even more aggressive, even stronger drugs
right,
we want to give to her. And at this point, what was your response?
Well, Lynn, I gave them 5 years. They told me it was going to take approximately 5 years. I did not like the idea of willingly giving my daughter strong drugs. And I come from a nutritional background. I've always believed that health and nutrition and fitness and good eating is good for you. It's going to elongate your life, and that's the way you should live your life. So for me to give my daughter these strong drugs, I just couldn't handle it. And unfortunately, after 5 years, they said, oh, the meds aren't working. We're going to have to give her stronger meds. And I said, no, not going to happen. So let me try another way.
And that other way was to come up with research that you conducted on your own, and it involved supplements, vitamins, nutrition, a combination of all of the above?
Yeah, and let me tell you, I could have been wrong. I might not have found it, but I went on the internet. In 2003, when she first got it, there was nothing on the internet that said there's an alternative way. And then in 2007, all of a sudden you didn't have too much Google, but you had more Google, you had Yahoo, you had all these different internet sites, plus PubMed.gov. I went on the internet, vociferously researched, and in 3 weeks, I found an answer. 2.5 months she was done. She was in remission in 2.5 months.
All right, you're going to have to explain to us how you were able to do that, because I know our viewers are very, very curious. We do have to take a quick break, though. We want to know what you think so far. Are you a believer in holistic or non-traditional treatments, or are you a little bit skeptical about their successes? Have you had a similar success story like Denise has had? And if so, do you have questions perhaps about this protocol? If you want to join in, you can email me directly right now at lynn@lynndoyle.net. As always, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to take that short break. We'll be back with some of your thoughts and more of Denise's story right after this.